is the NBA on NBC.
Good evening, everyone. This is Rooftop Sports, and here I am to do the Rising Stars Challenge, as I actually do have 4 Seattle SuperSonics on the team. I've got Rashard Lewis, Jerome James, Jerome James, Rashard Lewis, and Jamie Watson, believe it or not. So I will be going back in time to 1999 to play the NBA All-Star Weekend. Let's get to it. Now hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification, and let's go straight to it. I wonder how they got the lineups for. So I'm going to be playing either with Tim Duncan or Vince Carter's team with the rookies. I think I'm going to play with the rookies. The rookies will be more fun. The only sad thing is they don't have Jerome James. Goskis is a rookie. They're considering him as a rookie. I think they're just mixing these up at this point. And I have Jamie Watson. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's do this. And the All-Star game is disturbingly in Chicago, just right after Michael Jordan retires. That's just sad. There's Mike Bibby to Anderson, got Goskis. Here's Anderson for 3. And that was a really bad shot selection. And now here's Shammond Williams with the dunk. The Seattle SuperSonics star. Now we got Mike Bibby. We got Zydrunas Ilgauskas making it. He's going for the pick and roll, and he loses the ball again. And now here comes Shammond Williams. What is he going to do? He's being double teamed. Williams has been having a fine season, especially a 6-man off the bench. Here's Pierce with the jumper, and he makes it. Here's Mike Bibby. And Ilgauskas saves it. And here's Vince Carter. Gets the fake, goes for the shot, and he makes it. Now you're Shammond Williams. It's a screen from Tim Duncan. Goes for the deep 3. And it's going to be out of bounds, but whose ball is it? There's Tim Duncan. He makes the easy basket. Here's Stack. Misses the shot. Now here's Shammond Williams, starting point guard. Actually gets a starting role. Now here's Tim Duncan. He's fouled, and he's going to go to the line. And he makes the free throw. And he makes another one. Now here's Mike Bibby. Here's Derek Anderson. And now here is Mike Bibby for 3. Misses. Here's Abdul Wahad. Now here's Shammond Williams. Goes for the 3. Doesn't make it. Here's Olowokandi. And Duncan's going to go to the line. Everyone's going to have more of an, I think I'm going to try an even split kind of rotation. Now here's Vince Carter. Oh, the dunk and the foul. And he will go to the line. Vince Carter with a ferocious dunk. Let's see if he makes the three-point play. And he does. It was a nice dunk by Vince Carter. Now here's Pierce. He makes it. Vince Carter for three. Vince Carter's trying to play his way to an MVP. Now here's Shammond Williams bringing it up. Here's Paul Pierce with the jumper. And rebounded by Oluwakandi. And Carter with the rebound. He has just been on fire. He's 3 for 3. And here's a nice pass by Carter to Bibby. Nagauskas gets it. And he gets it in. Now here's Shammond Williams going with the jumper. He misses again. And Tim Duncan gets it in by goaltending. Here's Anderson. Carter again for three. Vince Carter's been absolutely on fire. Now let's see what Shammond Williams can do as this All-Star game is awkwardly in Chicago. Here's Williams for three. Shammond Williams from downtown. Actually, no, foot on the line. That was a two-pointer. Now here's Vince Carter. And he gets that in there. He is absolutely on fire. And there's Shammond Williams. Gets the screen from Oluwakandi. Pierce for three. Paul Pierce is now feeling it, 3 of 4. Here's Anderson to Vince Carter. Gets guarded by Paul Pierce. And kickball violation, still rookie's ball. Here's Carter, another three. He is absolutely on fire. Vince Carter has just been on an absolute tear. Here's Paul Pierce. And Abdul Wahad. Now here's Williams for three. Nope, not this time. Or he didn't even make a three-pointer. Now here's a possible alley-oop. Carter with the dunk. Vince Carter's just been absolutely tearing it up. Now here's Williams, goes for the three. And he's been struggling in this game. Now here's Vince Carter. Oh, no, a turnover. A nice layup. Here's Carter. Carter going for the contested jumper. Not a good shot by Vince Carter. Now here comes Anderson. And that was Paul Pierce with the dunk. Now here's Carter. Goes for the three. And he's struggling this time. Now here's Paul Pierce. To Williams for a deep three-pointer. No! This is what he's supposed to be doing, and he has been absolutely disappointing. Now here's Vince Carter. Goes for the fadeaway. Oh, Vince Carter has just been on fire. Now here's Paul Pierce. Duncan makes the easy shot. And Carter for 3. Hey, Carter again from downtown. He is just absolutely unstoppable. Now here's Williams for 3. And who's getting the rebound? Here's Goskis who got it. Here's Vince Carter to Derek Anderson. He was blocked by Abdul Wahad. And now here's Carter with a deep 3. No, not this time. What has Shammond Williams got? Does he have a 3-pointer in him? Goes for it again. And he misses it again. He's just been absolutely struggling. Now here is Stack. And loses it again. And here's Pierce. And he's going to make it. Here's Mike Bibby. Here's Vince Carter. Sets the screen is Ilgauskas. And a nice pick and roll. Here's Ilgauskas. Not able to make it. Now here's Shammond Williams with a jumper. He misses again. A huge, dangerous pass. Carter tries to get around. Here's Anderson for 3. And he makes it. Now let's see if Shammond Williams, he's going to try to hold it to the last shot. Getting close to the final seconds. He goes for the shot. Absolutely disappointing. Hello, Milk PD Master. All right, let's do the substitutions. Williams is absolutely cold. Obviously put in Jamie Watson, Keith Van Horn, and I'll put in Maurice Taylor, Michael Dickerson. Who's going to replace Owakandi? We got Danny Fortson. So we're going to try that combination, even though he's hurt. So he's going to be pretty limited today. Jason Williams, the white chocolate. Then we got Brevin Knight, Rashard Lewis, Tim Thomas, and Jerome James. Here's Jamie Watson. He's came a long way. He's also going to be an all-star. Now here's Watson. Doesn't make the shot. Lewis with the rebound. Also another rising star for the Seattle SuperSonics. Here comes the white chocolate. Gets it to Jerome James. Oh, with the ferocious jam. Nice pass by the white chocolate. Now here's Watson. And he loses it. Watson's been known to be very turnover happy. Now here's Watson, and he's going to go to the line. He makes the free throw. Now here comes Brevin Knight. Here's Lewis. Goes for a jumper. He misses. Fortson with the rebound. He gets to Watson. He's going on the fast break. He loses the ball. That's been his problem. He's been a very turnover-happy player. Now here's Jerome James trying to post up, and he makes it. Jerome James has just been, he's having a very nice game. Here comes Watson. Nice pass. Here's Fortson with the dunk. Now here's Brevin Knight. Here's Tim Thomas for three. He misses. Now here's Keith Van Horn to Watson. Nice pass by Watson. But no, not a good shot by Van Horn. Now here is Jason Williams, the white chocolate. And a nice pass to Jerome James. Rookies are ahead, or the black team is ahead. Now here's Dickerson. Now here's Van Horn. Danny Fortson not being guarded at all. Playing a little bit more laid back. Dickerson's trying to go for the shot. And he makes it. Here's the white chocolate. Lewis for three. No, he's not going to make it. And here comes Jamie Watson. Here's Dickerson for three. A nice three-point shot by Michael Dickerson. Now here's Jerome James. Goes for it. He misses. Tim Thomas with the rebound. And now here's Brevin Knight to Jason Williams for three. Jason Williams from downtown. There's Watson. He loses again. A nice little spin move. He gets his own rebound. And he loses the ball, but he gets the ball back. Watson goes for the three. He's not a good three-point shooter. Everyone should know that by now. Now here's Ilgauskas. Out of bounds. And a steal. And another steal attempt. And now here comes Williams. A nice pass to Brevin Knight with the jumper, with the layup. Now here's Watson. He's going to try to go in all the way. Nice shot by Watson. Sonics have been a very well-representing team. There's Knight for three, and he makes it. Here's Watson. Trying to make some moves, and he loses the ball again. Now here's Brevin Knight. Thomas for three. And they better call a timeout. Dickerson for three. Here is Brevin Knight. Thomas. Here's Lewis. Kind of trips on himself. Gonna bring their other unit in. Now here's Thomas for 3. Gonna try this again. Gonna try to pick and roll. And now here's Jason Williams, and he's fouled. You couldn't donate me enough money to do it. Don't even bother. You can donate as much money as you want. Oh, Vince Carter tries to get the steal. Is not happening. Now we got Shammond Williams being covered by Williams. Goes for the 3. Not good for Shammond Williams. Now here's Vince Carter. He drives to the rim. Rebound Pierce. Here's Akeem Olajuwon. Nice pass by Williams. That was to Dickerson. Here's Vince Carter. Fakes him out, goes for the jumper, and he makes it. Williams, open, no. Carter with the rebound. He has 25 points, by the way. He's been on fire. Here's Carter. Trying to go in all the way. Oh, my goodness. Vince Carter is absolutely tearing it. And Williams goes for the deep 3. No. And he's kind of hearing it from the crowd. Just a lot of boos. And then Carter to Williams, the white chocolate with the dunk. I don't think Shammond Williams will be seeing much minutes in going into the second half. Paul Pierce. Oh, he able to push Vince Carter. Oh, the white chocolate does it again. Here's Pierce. What amount would it take for you to be a permanent Lakers fan? You can't. It's just not going to happen. Just forget about it. Now here's Jason Williams. And Ilgauskas with the putback slam. Pierce for 3. Foot on the line. That was a 2-pointer. Here's Carter being heavily guarded by Pierce. Here's Williams for 3 again. Jason Williams of Sacramento has really been showing who's the boss. Let's try this again. Here's Williams. Goes for the 3. No, he will not make it. He has absolutely been atrocious in this game. And now here's Vince Carter. And only seconds left. Now here's Dickerson. Will not go.
Welcome everyone to the All-Star Break edition of our halftime report of the Rising Stars Championship. Sophomore. The Sophomores, they haven't been so good early. And our report. Thanks so much for joining us. See you next time.
Now here's Watson. He's taking over for Shammond Williams. Here's Abdul Wahad. Here's Pierce for 3. Paul Pierce from downtown. Now here's Jamie Watson. Now here's Anderson for 3. And Duncan gets the rebound. And now here comes Jamie Watson. Now here is Olowokandi. Now here's Duncan. Nice pass by Olowokandi. Having a little Twin Tower moment there. Now here's Mike Bibby to Vince Carter. And he is fouled by Watson. Watson has a pretty interesting story. He hasn't really done much in the NBA up until this season. The Sonics added him as a, here's Bibby for 3. He hasn't really done much. He was signed on to the Sonics to be their 3rd shooting guard in case of any injuries. And look what happens. Injuries do happen. Now here's Williams. He'll make that layup. And then Sean Respert went down for an injury, so he went to back up Ruben Patterson. But then he played so well. And another 3-pointer by Mike Bibby. He played so well that they decided to put him as a starting point guard because he was really good with his passes. Now here's Duncan. Goes for the nice hook. And Carter with the rebound. Here's Vince Carter trying to go as much as he can. Nice moves by Carter, but it's just not happening. And Pierce with the rebound. And now here's Abdul Wahad. And here's Pierce. Not a good shot. And now here's Vince Carter. Nice moves. And go to the line. He is fouled. And Carter makes it. I think they're going to have to call a timeout. Because it's not going well. Definitely want Watson in there. Okay, well, if he can make his shots, then fine. Timeout being called. Jerome James is now checking in. Now here's Williams. All the way for a 3. Oh! And he finally gets it. Shammond Williams from downtown. And goes for the alley-oop. And Vince Carter, he misses. And now here is Shammond Williams. What has he got? Does the dribbling action. Goes for the 3. No, not this time. And there is an amazing opportunity. And now here's going to be the alley-oop. Oh, Vince Carter catches the alley-oop. And the lead is growing on them. And now here's Paul Pierce for 3. And he is continuing to carry this team. Vince Carter's doing everything he can. And Williams gets the steal with the dunk. Now here's Shammond Williams. There's Abdul Wahad. Gets the rebound by Michael Olowokandi. Now here is Williams. Goes for it again. And he makes it to make it even closer. Now the fans are starting to like it a little bit more. Oops. There's Rashard Lewis, and now here's Anderson for 3. And Duncan gets the rebound. Now here's Paul Pierce for 3. Oh, Pierce again. Now it's just a 3-point lead. Now here's Mike Bibby. And Jerome James, they're trying to get that screen from him, and he does well in that pick and roll. Nice. No, really bad pass. And who's going to get it? And Olowokandi gets it, and he is all by himself with a nice dunk. They tried that pick and roll, but it didn't work. Now here's Bibby for 3. And the rookies are extending that lead. Now here's Jamie Watson. Trying to see what he can do. Now here's Tim Duncan. Maybe he can try that pick and roll. And now here's Duncan. He gets around, and the foul. He was fouled by Jerome James. He could not believe it. And he will go to the line. And nice moves by Tim Duncan. Off the nice pass by Jamie Watson. Here's Anderson for 3. No, he's not going to make it. Now here's Dickerson for 3. Duncan gets the rebound. And rebound by Mike Bibby. Now here's Vince Carter. What has he got? Gets the screen from Jerome James. Gonna try his luck from downtown. Oh, Vince Carter from downtown. He does it again. He has been putting on a show. 35 points. And a steal caused by Jerome James. And now here's Vince Carter. He's going to try to go in all the way over Duncan, but he couldn't get it in. Now here's Paul Pierce. He's got a 2-on-1. Nice pass to Dickerson. And the fans are really loving it. They are really putting on a show. Couldn't put on less of a show than that Rising Stars Challenge, blah, blah. Now here's Vince Carter. And stolen by Olowokandi. And now here's Dickerson to Paul Pierce with the dunk. And the game is tied. And Paul Pierce kind of kicked the ball away out of taunting this. Now here's Mike Bibby. They got some work to do. Now here's Jerome James. He sets that screen. Here's Bibby. And James gets it in, but he gets knocked down. That could have gone in so many wrong ways. Now here's Tim Duncan. He's able to get that in easily. I think they're going to get the rookies some rest too. Here's Carter. Goes for the jumper. And not this time. Now here's Paul Pierce. Another 2-on-1. And Dickerson with the shot. With the layup. Oh no, it's a steal by Pierce. And he was not able to get it in. Timeout called. Here's Lewis for 3. He makes it. Rashard Lewis from downtown. Now here's Van Horn. Now maybe a possible alley-oop. Nope, terrible pass. Here's Danny Fortson. Williams just for fun for 3. Ilgauskas with the rebound. Now here's Rashard Lewis, might have an open lane. He misses. Rebound by his teammate Williams. And I think he's going to hold to the last shot. Here's Van Horn to Pierce. Now here's Williams for 3. No. Here's Olakandi is fouled, and he will go to the line. Makes the free throw. Misses on purpose. I think they're going to put in their best possible players. And Carter for 3. There's Duncan. Oh, gets the nice fake moves. Pierce for 3. Pierce does it again from downtown. Now here's Jason Williams. Oh, nice fake. And here's Carter. And the foul. Vince Carter is going to go to the line. And the fans are really loving it from Vince Carter. Trying to get the steal. Now here's Duncan to Pierce. That's Olawakandi, excuse me. And he's going to go to the line. Now here's Carter to Ilgauskas. And he's fouled. He will go to the line. He makes it. They're going to bring their best players in. He goes, and he gets it. Here's Watson. Here's Williams for 3. Williams is now showing some heat. It's now 91-90. Here's Carter. It's going to be a screen pick and roll. Now here's Ilgauskas of the Cleveland Cavaliers. No, he misses it. Here's Duncan to Williams. And Carter with the rebound. Carter with 40 points. He goes up on Duncan. Oh my goodness. Vince Carter. Also, he is 5 of 6 from downtown. He could get 50 points. Now here's Duncan. Goes for the fadeaway. Nice shot by Duncan. Here's Carter. Goes for the 3. Stacked with the rebound. A nice pass. Here's Williams for 3. Jason Williams is just on fire. Here's Duncan to Watson. Gonna give it to Williams for another 3. And Carter with the rebound. Here comes Vince Carter trying to go all the way around Paul Pierce, but he can't get it in. Now there's Jamie Watson. Has a 2-on-1 and a nice pass to Duncan. Duncan's also should be set to be an all-star. Now here's Carter. Goes for the 3. Not this time. Rebound Olowokandi. He's going to get it to Shammond Williams. Here's Pierce with a jumper. Watson with the rebound. He's able to get that in. Watson is a possible rising star for the Seattle SuperSonics. Here's Carter. There's Carter tries to throw it up, and he misses. Trying to get the steal. And Carter gets it. Now here's Brevin Knight. And tipped away by Shammond Williams. Now here comes Jamie Watson. He is double teamed. And he makes it himself. Carter for 3. No, you're Stack with the rebound. He makes it in. Timeout called by the Sophomores. There's Dickerson. And Pierce goes for 3. He has 38 points. What a shootout between these two rookies. Here's Carter being guarded. And now here's Bibby for 3. Not this time. Watson, the very turnover happy. Let's see if Carter can take advantage of it. Fouled by Bibby. Rashard Lewis is now checking in as a power forward. Here's Pierce. And he is just on fire. He cannot be stopped. Now here's Mike Bibby. He's going to take it up. Derek Anderson. Carter for 3. Trying to keep the team alive. Shammond Williams is now bringing it up. Trying to get that steal. Double teamed. Here's Lewis. And here's Williams with a jumper. Not this time. Here's Vince Carter. Nice pass to Anderson for 3. Here's Abdul Wahad. And a nice steal. Over to Rashard Lewis. Carter again for 3. He'll try again. No, and he's got to stop that. Here's Pierce. Oh my goodness, Paul Pierce. Now here's Vince Carter. Nice pass, and now the foul. Yes! And he will go to the line for a 3-point play. But Ilgauskas misses it. Pierce has 43 points. Carter with 45. Here's Duncan. Gets his own rebound. And he will go to the line. I think they're going to put in Jerome James. And Carter gets his own rebound. Was it worth it foul? Now here's Jerome James. No, and that bad pass by Vince Carter. Oh, blocked by Jerome James. Still trying to keep this alive. Here is Vince Carter. He is fouled. Oh, so close. Carter makes the free throw. They're bringing it within. He misses the free throw. Here's Williams for 3. And they're going to let it go out of bounds. And they still have some time. Here's Bibby. Here's Vince Carter's trying it again. To James. He's wide open. No, he gets blocked by Duncan. Now here's Bibby for 3. No! And I think that may have just iced the game. And James with another block. And Carter with the no! But Lewis saves it. Carter for 3. No, and I think they're just out of gas at this point. We're going to go to the line for Shammond Williams. Makes the free throw. And now here's Vince Carter. He's going to try it again. Goes for the 3. Here's James with the rebound. Nope, and I think, nope, they're going to foul him. All-Star game here in Chicago. Bulls are disappointingly unrepresented. And here's James again. Here's Bibby. Williams for the 3. Oh, my goodness. Why didn't they give it to him earlier? They're going to see if they can make it interesting. He misses the free throw. Ideally, they're going to try to go for a 3-pointer. I think they're going to try to get it to Jason Williams. Goes for the 3 and oh no. Could have cut it to 2. But it was a fantastic game between the both of them. Player of the game is absolutely going to go to Paul Pierce. Vince Carter really had his chance, but Paul Pierce was just on fire. All right, let's look at Paul Pierce had 44 points. Vince Carter had 46. He had an even better game. He probably should have been the MVP of this game. Had an amazing alley-oop. Was making 3-pointers left and right. And then he just got cold. That was a really fun game. This was Vince Carter going for, he had a nice, it was a foul. Also had a nice alley-oop. Oh, that huge dunk. Ultra talented Vince Carter. Jerome James even had a good game for himself. He had 8 points and 2 key blocks. He was able to muscle his way in. Had a nice block on Olawakandi. A couple dunks. 2 blocks, too. Those were nice blocks. Shammond Williams went 3 of 20, shot 7 of 28. That's terrible. Watson had a pretty good game himself. 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. Well, anyways, that's going to do it. I am taking off. Everyone have a good night. And stay tuned for tomorrow's 3-point shooting contest for the All-Star Weekend. Everyone have a good night and bring back our sign.